This is Cricbuzz chatter with Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan after the second day of this test series between England and the West Indies. And what a day for the West Indies, especially their captain, Jason Holder. Vaughanie, they skittled England for 204. The skipper picked up career best figures of 6 for 42. What an all-rounder he is.
Yeah, number one in the world. You wouldn't have really got many people in the UK realising that before this series, that Jason Holder is above Ben Stokes in the test rankings for all-rounder, and he showed his real quality today. I think Jason Holder is a wonderful cricketer, skill with the ball, tremendous batsman, particularly at number 8. He averages 42 against the England team. But it's the way that he speaks about the game. I think he's just a great spokesperson for the game. He's got great clarity, maturity. I believe from Carlos Brathwaite that he's the joker in the pack in the dressing room. You don't hear of many skippers being the joker in the pack. He's a great player, but also a great person. So even though obviously I fancy England and I prefer them to do better, I never really get disappointed when I see real quality people perform, and Jason Holder's certainly one of those.
Yeah, he was the catalyst for 2 England collapses, one before lunch and one after. The top order for England, Vaughanie, we talked about it last night on Cricbuzz chatter about the importance of Joe Denley finding a way to make a substantial contribution. He got a good one from Shannon Gabriel, but through the gate yet again, and it was the incision, and then the West Indies got moving.
Yeah, I mean, it is a decent ball, but we've got to be brutally honest that Joe Denley, so far in his test career, he's now played 15 test matches. The ball that nips back to his stumps is averaging 9.5. That's not real quality at number 3 at test match level. So real pressure on Joe Denley. 15th test, as I mentioned, averaging under 30, yet to get a test century. So pressure on him. Zach Crawley at 4, great opportunity today. Got in, played okay for a short while, then played across a straight one from Jason Holder. Again, skill, he went wide of the crease Holder. Rory Burns at the top of the order looks so organised and compact. Shannon Gabriel did for him with skill again, went wide, got his head over to the offside, and then threw that real sharp full straight one that he played across as well. So there was a mixture of real skill to get rid of the top 4 and a few of the other England players. I thought Pope looked great for his 12, but then just nibbled at the one, probably wanted to get bat on ball. These guys have not played any cricket, and you can sometimes do that. Butler looked, as well as I've seen him in a long time in test match cricket, looked very balanced. Stokes the same, he had a bit of fortune. But we've got to be honest, the England side, when they get in these conditions over the last few years, and the ball just nibbles around a bit, they generally get bowled out. They generally get bowled out for this kind of figure. It's down to the bowlers to get them back in the test match tomorrow now.
I mentioned Holder brought upon that collapse. So Stokes and Butler were going pretty well. They put on 67 either side of the lunch break, but Holder, absolute class to pick up his opposing number, Stokes, and the vice-captain Butler shortly thereafter. Holder's taken 6 5-wicket hauls in the last 2 years of the 7 he's taken in his career. I mean, he's just gone from strength to strength. He was I'm not saying that he wasn't a fine bowler before, but statistically, the last couple of years have been incredible for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's his last 12 test matches. He's averaging 13 with the ball in hand. That's remarkable, and 42 with the bat. That's why he's the number 1 ranked test all-rounder in the world. He's just got that element of knowing when to come wide of the crease, when to get the ball nipping back, when to get that outswinger going. Again, he's very good to the left-handers around the wicket. His record is phenomenal. Again, it's just skill, it's know-how, it's consistency. 84% of his deliveries today were good length or full of length, so he realised that it wasn't a pitch to really hit the pitch hard, it was a pitch to get it up there and bring the batsman forward. That's what England have to do tomorrow. They're going to have to pitch the ball up. I believe it's going to be nice. The sun's going to shine. Can you believe it here in Southampton? It is going to shine tomorrow, so England are going to have to do some hard yards. They've not batted well enough today. They haven't got enough on the board, and they're going to have to bowl in better conditions for batting. So they're going to have to rely on the likes of Archer. Mark Wood today was bowling at 95 miles an hour consistently. I think it's going to be down to those paces to get England back into the test match.
Another thing that Holder did well, and Vaughanie, I don't know how many times last year on the segment during the Ashes we lamented the DRS usage from both Joe Root and Tim Payne. They were dire, dreadful, couldn't be worse. But Holder, interestingly, we had this stat on the live blog on Cricbuzz today. 1 in 15 he had off his own bowling when referring until today. But today he completely turned it around, both when he was bowling and indeed when the West Indies were batting as well. It feels to me, and we'll put this in the hotspot for today, it feels to me, Vaughanie, as though this third review might be quite instructive, quite helpful as far as captains feeling liberated to use it more often.
Yeah, well, it just gives them another one, doesn't it? And it's very difficult as a captain to know which ones to review, which ones to not. Jason Holder's had a great day reviewing. Jimmy Anderson's had quite a lot down. His hair's grown immensely, but you just felt that today he was going to pull it all out with a couple of those reviews that went against him, and then finally he got one to John Campbell. I just think in reviews it's calmness, it's collective kind of talking to your teammates around you, but you as the captain has to make that decision, and Jason Holder got it spot on a few occasions today.
So after Holder and Gabriel take 10 wickets between them, England's turn with the ball. How did you assess the opening partnership, I suppose, the new opening partnership of Anderson and Archer, of course, in the absence of the mainstay Stuart Broad? Anderson, of course, picking up the wicket of John Campbell after a couple of attempts where two were turned over on the DRS, I should say, but Anderson, the veteran, and Archer with the new ball.
Yeah, I thought they were okay. I thought, if anything, Archer maybe got a little bit too short. He got it going through to the keeper nice. It looked pretty, but it wasn't with great effect. So maybe he can just learn a lesson from Jason Holder, even though he's getting him down at 90 miles an hour, a bit quicker than Jason Holder. I still think in English conditions, you've got to be bringing the batsman forward. No batsman in English conditions, when there's clouds around with a duke ball, wants to be playing a forward defence. You want to be camped on the back foot, playing hip-high deliveries, and when it's full, you want to be just dipping in slightly and the ball right under your nose. You don't want to be just going out to play that forward defence. So, you can bowl that length a little bit more consistently from Jofra Archer's perspective. Jimmy Anderson was Jimmy Anderson, just swung the ball around, didn't have a great deal of luck. I think they'll be calling on him in the morning to try and get 2 or 3 quick wickets. If they do so, England are right in this test match, because 204, it's not a big total, and it shouldn't be enough, but it just may be because of the lack of inexperience in this West Indies batting lineup.
And indeed, pressing fast forward then, Vaughan, we saw at Cape Town earlier this year how valuable tail runs were for England. There was one occasion where Jimmy Anderson contributed to a 35-run partnership for the 10th wicket, and that ended up being quite important in the context of that game. Anderson was out there for 30 runs again today in a low-scoring scrap. Well, we heard a lot about this before the Test match, that England have a long tail, or could have a long tail, but we often see this in Test cricket, don't we? Lower order runs can be like gold dust at the end of a Test match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look at the West Indies batting lineup, and I just see Jason Holder at number 8. He's had a double century against this England side in Barbados just a couple of years ago. And if he's coming in at 8 and the ball's soft and old, he could be the real player. We've seen him with the ball already. He could make a massive difference with the bat. The likes of Blackwood at number 6, if this top order can fight and scrap and try and get the ball again to the 50th over mark before someone like Blackwood comes in, well, anything's possible. England need early wickets in the morning. If the West Indies bat the majority of tomorrow, it's going to be a tall order for England to get back into this Test match.
Thank you, Michael Vaughan. West Indies Day, bowling at England for 204. England 57 for 1 in reply. Make sure you stick with us on Cricbuzz throughout the Test match. We'll be back at Stumps tomorrow.